My name is Caleb S. Holmberg, and today I have another controller review for you. This is the Tribute 64 controller for Nintendo 64 from Retrobit. This is one that I have seen on the market for a while now, but I just haven't gotten a chance to look at it yet. So here it is. I believe this cost about $20. It wasn't exactly $20, but it was thereabouts. I purchased this on Amazon, and I think it was either used or just used very lightly because it's still got the box and everything. So I will post a link down below to where I bought this controller, and that was the lowest price I could find. So I'll try and give that to the rest of you who may be interested in this controller. So, Retrobit. I'm trying to remember if I've done any other Retrobit controllers. And I, off the top of my head, I don't think I have. Maybe, yeah, no, come to think of it, I don't think I have reviewed any Retrobit controllers. So this will be very interesting to see how this controller holds up. The box is very, it's nice. It's just, it's a box. It says Platinum Collection on there for some reason. I don't really know what that means. But it probably means that this is going to be the best controller ever. So, let's see. Tribute 64 is part of Retrobit's Platinum series of controllers dedicated to classic retro gaming consoles designed for exclusive use on N64. It features ultimate versatility for any genre of games with a fully responsive analog stick, innovative and ergonomic design to boost your gaming experience, and the classic A and B buttons positioned just right. Players will enjoy long hours of classic retro gaming. So, let's see if that is true. Let's open her up. The unboxing portion of the video. And as you can see, I always have these, I've started doing chapters on these videos so that you guys can skip to whatever part you want to see. If there's any part that you would rather just buzz over, if you'd rather skip on to my final thoughts or the teardown, which I am going to be doing once I finish. I'm going to be disassembling this thing, just so you guys can see how it's put together, maybe just in case you need to repair it at all. But one thing I didn't mention is this is the one thing. Well, yeah, this is something I noticed is the only one I could find for the price was the Atomic Purple, which is what I have here, which honestly is one of my favorite N64 colors. Just kind of nostalgic for me, but all the other colors I saw on Amazon anyway were like at least twice the price of this, which I found a little bit odd. So hopefully this isn't like a piece of junk, like the bargain bin or like the original prototype of the controller, which didn't work. That would be unfortunate. But anyway, let's open this up. So we've got that plastic sleeve off of there. Let's just pull this out and break down the box a little bit just so it's easier to throw away later. Okay, so let's remove it from the packaging. Nothing fancy packaging wise, just the controller, really. No manual, no well, I guess they don't really need anything else. I'm used to getting like Switch controllers where you have a charging cable along with it, which, this is really nice. You just get the controller and that is it. Okay, let's just take this little tie off of here and throw that aside. Alright, so here it is, the Retrobit Tribute 64. Now this controller is, from what I can tell, modeled after the HoriPad Nintendo 64 controller from from like around that was out, when the N64 was out, and from what I hear, those are like the best, like the holy grail, if you will, of N64 controllers. And this, I think, is just trying to replicate that. First impression wise, I mean, no red flags so far. It feels like a controller. I guess my hands are maybe a little bit big for this one, or maybe it's just a little small for my hands. But I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's not really an issue. It's just, let me grab some other controllers to compare. So we have the original N64 controller with the GameCube style joystick. That's like, in my opinion, this is like the golden standard. If you want to play N64 games, this is the one to at least start with. Just so you get the original controller layout. I mean, it might even be better. Well, when I first started playing the N64, I had the original N64 analog stick, which that might be better, more authentic, so-called experience. But I mean, these do last longer. But then that was a big rabbit trail. So the original N64 controller, and then the Mayador controller, which I did a review of a while back, a review and teardown, 2 separate videos. So, and this one is still probably my favorite. Now, honestly, this one is a lot more comfortable in my hands. A lot. Well, if we just look at it, it's just plain bigger, and you can see that like it's tall. It's just maybe not a crazy amount taller, but there's just a little more cut out in these areas for my fingers, and the grips are a little bit bigger. I guess it's really sort of hard to tell, but it's just very subtle differences. But yeah, this definitely feels a lot more compact, but it does feel similar to this, especially in terms of the quality of the plastic. It feels almost exactly the same, maybe just a half step up from the Mayador, because the Mayador is a great controller and all, but it does have pretty low quality like shell plastic, but I still love it. Anyway, let me set these aside, and I won't really know until I test it out. So, and that will come later on. So let me just get that cord all unwound. First impressions. Oh yeah, we have the memory card port back there. No issues. Let me just find a memory card. Sorry, I'm up and down here. So we have the original N64 controller with the GameCube style joystick. That's like, in my opinion, this is like the golden standard. If you want to play N64 games, this is the one to at least start with. Just so you get the original controller layout. I mean, it might even be better. Well, when I first started playing the N64, I had the original N64 analog stick, which might be better, more authentic, so-called experience. But I mean, these do last longer. But then that was a big rabbit trail. So the original N64 controller, and then the Mayador controller, which I did a review of a while back, a review and teardown, 2 separate videos. So, and this one is still probably my favorite. Now, honestly, this one is a lot more comfortable in my hands. A lot. Well, if we just look at it, it's just plain bigger, and you can see that like it's tall. It's just maybe not a crazy amount taller, but there's just a little more cut out in these areas for my fingers, and the grips are a little bit bigger. I guess it's really sort of hard to tell, but it's just very subtle differences. But yeah, this definitely feels a lot more compact, but it does feel similar to this, especially in terms of the quality of the plastic. It feels almost exactly the same. Maybe just a half step up from the Mayador, because the Mayador is a great controller and all, but it does have pretty low quality like shell plastic, but I still love it. Anyway, let's let me set these aside, and we won't really know. I won't really know until I test it out. So, and that will come later on. So let me just get that cord all unwound. First impressions. Oh yeah, we have the memory card port back there. No issues. Let me just find a memory card. Sorry, I'm up and down here. Memory card fits nicely. Does it? Maybe not. No, it does. Memory pack, I should say. This one's third party, but it's the same thing. And then I have the rumble pack here just for good measure. And yeah, that fits just as well. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, that works. So I'll set these aside. All right, now I think I am ready to move on to the disassembly. Oh, one more thing before that. The buttons feel good. I like the amount of clickiness to mushiness ratio. They're a nice happy medium. The directional pad is a bit small for my liking. Which I guess is the same for the Mayador, but I guess that really depends on what game you're playing. You don't, I mean, on most N64 games, don't quote me on this, but in most N64 games, you're not using the D-pad a whole lot. You're mostly using the joystick, or if you're using the D-pad, you're using it all the time, and that's why the original had the separate two prongs for the directional pad and the control stick. Anyway, enough on my first impressions. That was a pretty long first impressions. Anyway, let's go on to our disassembly and a screwdriver. And this is an N64 controller, so I'm hoping it's not going to be anything. Trying to think of a big long word, but I've that's just for nerds. So nothing crazy here, I wouldn't think. So first off, let's take out the screws on the back here. Just a small Phillips head screwdriver will do it. Most third-party controllers are pretty nice in that they use Phillips head screws, and most people have Phillips screwdrivers. Unlike Nintendo, who ever since the GameCube has, for whatever reason, seen fit to put tri-wing screws on their in their controllers to assemble them, which is, well, I guess it's their baby, but really, if you want people to be, I guess they just don't want people to be tampering with them. Alright, so we've got those all unscrewed. Should be able to lift the back off here. Keyword should. Maybe I'm not unscrewing them all the way. I must have missed that one. Maybe still not quite. Okay, there it comes. So there you go. I mean, nothing too terribly complex. Make sure I don't lose any screws here. All right, so we can let's turn this over. Look at the triggers, the Z triggers here. Those are easy to take out. You just push them in and pull them out like that. You have the pad there that you can. I think you can just take that off. Yep, that just comes off and just slides right back in there like that. And then you can just slide that plastic piece back into place. So Nothing, no crazy hijinks going on there. So here we have the front, and let's see. If we want to take this circuit board assembly out of the back or front, we will need to take out these two, which hold the analog stick in. So that shouldn't be inconquerable. Is that a word? Alright. So that just lifts out. And one thing about these controllers that I do like is they've got, or this and the Mayadors, they have pretty nice big beefy joysticks, which is definitely nice in my opinion. And speaking of, we can just pop that right off if you need to replace that. It's like a GameCube joystick scaled up, which I think gives you a lot more makes it a lot more sensitive. If that is, it doesn't have a dead zone or anything like that. So, but that's all stuff we'll find out later. So I can pull this cord out of that little slot there, that little divot. We can think. Oop, gotta be careful what I pull. Oh, sorry about that. I gotta be a little more cognizant of where my camera's at. Here's my R trigger. Same deal as the Z triggers. You can just take that out. Yeah, and the way I got that out was by pulling this circuit board, which was like in there vertically like this. So those just slide up. So the rest of the circuit board can just slide then out of there, and then yeah. So I mean nothing too terribly outlandish here. If you need to replace anything on this circuit board, you could. It looks like most of it's just pretty simple desoldering and resoldering. So yeah, there's that. I'll set that aside. So we have nice rubber pad for the face buttons and D-pad, and then just one more for the start button, and then all of these face buttons and stuff can just dump out, and then that's the disassembly. I mean, nothing. It's not really rocket science. Just gotta remember, I guess, where everything's at. Just remember what goes where, which can get a little bit tricky. I know I've had many times where I tried to take something apart and got the screws mixed up, or speaking of, I might, yeah, no, just got the parts all piled together, not sorted, not sorted in any particular fashion. So anyway, now let's put it back together. D-pad, C buttons, each one goes in its respective hole. And the B button. And the A button. Go in like that. Yeah, that does it. Next we have our rubber pad here. Put that, there's like these little pins that stick up that this just sort of slides on over. And there you go. Same with the, well, start button's easy. You just pop that little guy on there. Alright, anyway, let's find our circuit board. Slap that on. Oh yeah, there's like I said, there's pins, so make sure that lines up with, on the left there, that one lines up with that, and then there's this one down here. There's a few, so just make those line up, and then it's smooth sailing. Next up, I'm gonna put the directional or the stick back in place, and we'll screw that back in. And they're shorter screws that are the ones that are holding the joystick in place. I wasn't actually screwing that in. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then these Z contacts can go back in their slots like so, and like so. Right, and then we have our, all those are not just Z and L and R contacts, circuit boards, what have you. Okay, and yeah, just make sure the letter L and R are facing, well, I guess that would be sort of, depending on which way you turn it around, well, yeah, we can do it like this. As it's upside down like this, they should be right side up, as you can see. Like that. So that just slides down like that, and there it is. And then we can put the cable back in its spot. There's like a little rounded part that fits into the little rounded cutout there. I think that'll do it. Alright, now we can just put this back. And the main thing to line up is the expansion pack, or memory pack port. Line that up with the slot, with its slot. And something is in the way here, so let's figure that out. Oh wait, I know. This has got messed up a little bit. Z trigger. Alright, there you go. Right, and this can just slide on the back. Let's try that again. There it goes. And then just snap it. Is it gonna snap? It snapped. Alright, beautiful. So let's go ahead and screw it back on, and then we can move on to our demonstration. There you go. There's the last screw. Oops, just whacked my camera. Sorry, camera. Okay, and there you have it. Uh-oh, something ain't right. Yep, I've got one of my Z triggers. So now we have to unscrew all the screws again. I'll get back to you once I have this fixed, because nobody wants to see this all over again. The worst feeling is when you put a controller back together, then you try and push all the buttons and one of them won't push or is kind of loose, and then well then you're in a situation that we technically call you are screwed, and you have to take the whole thing apart again and fix whatever it is. It's a pain, but hey. just something we gamers gotta deal with. Alright, everything feels good. So, why don't I just plug it into the old 64, which I have here with Smash Brothers, unlike my usual Super Mario 64. I'm a little tired of, you know, strange, inexplicable lights flashing and, I don't know, weird faces showing up behind me as I played Mario 64. So I've decided I'd take a break from that and wind down with a little bit of Smash Bros. So let's power on. If we have, might want to turn that power on if I want power. If TV monitor. Okay, there we go. I noticed that's a little bit hard to see. Apologize for that. Alright, I'm going to turn that volume down. That's a little bit loud for my liking. Alright. So, let's just do a quick versus match and see how this thing works. I'm gonna play Mario and computer, and let's see how miserably I fail at this. I'm definitely not a pro Smash Bros player, so forgive me if I absolutely stink. Okay, so yeah, as far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be any sort of dead zone to the joystick. Everything seems responsive. I'm not noticing anything really wrong here. Goodbye, Fox. Okay. I don't know. This might just be the game, and this just might be the fact that I'm used to playing Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I do feel like it's a little bit, got a little bit of delay. The buttons do. But I guess the original Smash Bros. Is just slower than Smash Bros. Ultimate, so that could be my problem, really. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry that you guys have to see this. So I'm just going to play through this match. If you want to skip to the end, where I will give my final thoughts, feel free to do so. If you want to get me, want to see me get my rear end kicked, then also feel free. But hey, who knows? Maybe I won't lose. That did some damage. Hey. Dangerous place to be. Oh my goodness, did I just do that? Okay, that just happened. Well, I think Captain Falcon actually just... Oh, okay. This is a little sad. I actually thought I would lose, but then these guys decided to just walk off the side of the platform and throw it all away. Not cool, man. Not cool. Gotta put up a fight. Oh, man. Alright, Brother Fox. Where you going, man? Don't leave me. Well, actually, yeah. Alright, so I actually didn't lose. That is surprise. Anyway, that was a pretty good match. And this controller, I mean, gotta say, it didn't explode while I was using it or anything. It seems pretty good. I'd probably put it, I would say I like it a little better than the, well, you know, I would probably put it on par with the Brawler 64 controller from Retro Fighters, which is also a good controller. It's just a different design, more of a modern layout. Go check out that video if you want. I've got quite a selection of over the years I guess I've sort of done quite a few N64 controller reviews, and I hope to do more because they seem to get a lot of attention here. So and I'm happy to give you guys any sort of insight that I am able to lend. So overall, I'm going to say this controller is worth the money. I mean, if you like a compact controller, that's one thing people don't like about the original N64 controller, is it's pretty big. This is nice and small, in small spaces, small shelves or whatever, and better. I mean, obviously smaller hands. It's better for smaller hands. And I mean, I don't have particularly big hands. I mean, it's a relative term, but I guess it's just all about whether you like to have your hands close together and sort of scrunched up, rather than just sort of the controller just kind of meshing and sort of being flush, if that makes any sense. But other than that, I have not a whole lot to say about this controller. It's obviously, it's nice to look at. It's nice. I like that they did the original Atomic Blue Nintendo 64 color. I think that's cool. I've always liked the clear controllers. You know that if you've watched any of my other videos. Well, not any of them, but in the past year or so, I've been raving about clear controllers and clear parts of controllers, which I still hold true. Yes, that's something I do think is cool. I wish they would do more of clear controllers nowadays, because they just look cool. For some reason, there was a big trend back in like the early 2000s to have like everything clear plastic, which honestly was kind of legendary. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video, and I hope it has been helpful. Don't forget to head on down to that subscribe button and give it a good click, and hit the like button if you did like this video. Also, share it if you know any people who might be interested in this controller, or just are looking for N64 controllers. And if you have any questions, any comments, any criticisms, anything to add, don't be afraid to comment down below on this video. So, other than that, I have nothing else for you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.